I am interested in your perspective on to what extent is all of what Trump is and did and said in the ridiculous, low energy, and at the same time bloodthirsty campaign that he ran of conspiracy theories and lies and manipulation, all that. Did they vote for that or did they accept that? But both answers are bad, I think. It's not good in either case that this is what people were willing to see put into the office. But to what extent do you think people actually liked the victim complex and the promises of retribution and the rabid transphobia and all that? Or do you think they were frustrated about the economy, they were frustrated about immigration, they were frustrated about inflation, and they just accepted a fascist in office? Which do you think?
I think that you only accept what you are already susceptible to. I'm sorry, but I don't think this is nearly about Donald Trump. I think it's about who and what America is and who and what America was founded on. And I mean that. I'm not just a Black woman today after this election who's just crying and poo-pooing and pushing theories of racism. This is who and what America was founded on. We have lionized, idolized, celebrated holidays for men who raped, pillaged, murdered, and enslaved people. Those aren't asterisks. That's actually who we are, whether we want to believe it or not. We tell white children, no, you don't have to learn about any of this. I learned about something about a cherry tree. How dumb is that? And somebody who wouldn't tell a lie. Instead of actually who and what we were founded on, that these are seeds that were planted that are still thriving today. He didn't indoctrinate anyone when he came down that escalator. These people already existed, and he gave them permission to be and live and breathe. That's what they voted for. You don't excuse rape. You don't excuse stealing from people, fraud. Do you know how many things we could list under his name? And yet you have a reason collectively, you, the majority, I guess, in America, for how right is left, up is down. This is who we are. Claire McCaskill, I heard her say it this morning on one of the shows, the former senator out of Missouri. Donald Trump knows America better than we do. Own it. This brown girl actually thought that people would say, this is a joke, right? He's a sexual assault demon. His whole life he's behaved in a certain way. He's a racist, a misogynist, whether you like it or not. Why don't we just own it? Instead of, yeah, I want to have a postmortem and dissect things, but why don't we just own it? So stop pretending that this isn't the America that we live in. It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, I think he got elected for a variety of reasons combined. I don't think that everyone who voted for him did so because they liked the fact that he ran the most explicitly racist political campaign we've ever seen, the most explicitly misogynistic campaign we've ever seen, the most explicitly fascistic and violent anti-democratic campaign we've ever seen. Those are objective facts. I'm not even speaking opinions anymore. But I do think some did. I don't know what the percentage is. I don't know that we'll be able to find that out. I don't know if it's 5%. I don't know if it's 70%. I don't know, but it's some of them. And certainly the most enthusiastic supporters of his are overrepresented in that. His boosters in politics and media are way overrepresented in that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can we agree that everyone who voted for him had to excuse or accept that and press the lever anyway? That list you gave is horrific. So everyone, there's bad and less bad. You either had to excuse it, accept it, you press the lever anyway. That's perhaps too far for some people, but I don't see a gray area in that.
Yeah, I agree. Look, there are people who know more and less about him, but he has been one of the most discussed political topics for the better part of a decade. And so it is harder to understand ignorance of who he is and what he represents, considering that he literally never stops screaming it in everybody's face. So yeah, that is obviously an issue, and there's a million different factors. He is not the only thing that was in this race, and we're going to talk in a little bit about Harris. We're going to talk about Biden. We're going to talk about, there's a million different things that influence this, and there's the context of the fact that, it's been economically difficult for the last few years, and people obviously want a change, and Harris is inextricably tied to Joe Biden. There's a million different factors, but we cannot ignore the fact that people have found him to be acceptable. Not necessarily all of them think that he's preferable personally. This man who has more personality flaws than literally every other person who's run for president combined over the last half century. But they did by definition find it to be acceptable. And I know a lot of people will say, you're blaming voters. No, literally what I'm trying to do is understand the voters. But also, I also think that by definition, every voter is an adult. And I think we're all responsible for what we do. Is that too much to ask of an adult, that you be responsible for the things you do? I think to do otherwise would be to infantilize millions of people, and I'm not interested in doing that. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?